Switching topics to Merrie Monarch. A few weeks ago, you issued a press release saying that you were no longer going to allow halal for Merrie Monarch to stay in county gyms. Many halal have stayed in county gyms over the past, I'd say, 20 years. They have paid rent. They have done fix-up projects. They've slept there. They've had somebody on fire watch. They've used the gyms to practice. You've now said that will no longer be allowed. Tell us what the rationale is, including why you chose not to speak with the folks at Merrie Monarch in advance to see if a solution could be found.
It's almost like I paid you to ask the right questions.
I'm waiting for the dollars to come flowing in, Harry.
But really, I appreciate the question, because we just had a meeting this morning on that. Are you going to respond? I said no, because we already talked to the people that are affected for past year now. As you know, I came into office December, and Merrie Monarch coming up during that past period.
Yeah, because Merrie Monarch was always the week of Easter.
And so it was pointed out to me in regards to the fire department's findings of these 4 halals of where to stay. Just to clarify, we're not talking about the whole group of halals. There's 23 halals, and 19 of them have lodging that they take care of. The fire chief came in, gave us the report that that this is does not meet the fire code. These places should not be slept overnight. It was kind of late in the period, I can't remember when it was, probably February or so, to announce that at that time. We were in communication with Merrie Monarch, Luana and others, what the situation was. It's also written, some of it. If there's anything that can be done at this late period. We understand it's a late period. Very easily could have told a chief, continue, But I know what we were asking. We asked them to disregard the report. And I'm never going to do that in regards to this kind of safety element. And so it was simply, what could we suggest to the fire chief and the fire department that possibly could, I hate the word satisfy, but that was it, satisfy this concern for now as we look towards next year. But for now, is there anything we could do? So we worked with them and communicated with the halal people, not halal, Merrie Monarch people, that this is what was suggested, a fire watch, throughout the night, documentation, this and that. That was even the micro type of management suggestion. That's hard for parents throughout the night, so I made a crack. Be like the Army. And I was on watch. Every 2 hours you change shift, right? You have enough parents, et cetera, et cetera. Even that kind of involvement on the suggestion to mitigate the requirement of a fire watch, which was not all-encompassing meeting fire department needs, but approved that this will, for now, they'll be okay with it, but it is not satisfactory as far as resolving the issue. And that was agreed with Merrie Monarch. Because also with that, not to belabor that, but cost factor was because it was a misunderstanding, hire a fire watch people. That means private security. Well, that's big money. But that wasn't what we meant. We meant establish one. And that's why this kind of volunteer 2 hours was done. And so that took care of the first year. I can elaborate on that, the communication, but I am addressing that no communication with them. Now comes this year, but at that time it was understood we got to look at the future. Because this kind of thing, as if you can talk to the fire chief, is only to mitigate for that year, not totally satisfactory for safety reasons now come this year. And the decision, we need to do this for safety and everything else. Along with that, the discussion of our responsibilities, number one, do it fast so they have time to plan. Provide alternatives of looking elsewhere. What else is there? Look at the not only county stuff, because we have state, but most of our schools, and naturally you can't ask the schools to abort their program for the Merrie Monarch with school kids and this and that. We even talked about, is there any National Guard facilities we can look? We did look at what's there so we can present it to them. And one of the things that Parks and Recreation Charmaine says, hey, By then, we will be finished with all of the Mauna Kea thing, you know. And I said, initially, boy, then I thought, Oahu people, 45-minute drive. Then we talked about, okay, what else can we make it, you know, to say this is a very good alternative. Tom, it has a licensed, certified kitchen, you know, bedding, the whole works, brand new. Nice roadway up good there now. We will see, we can assist in transportation. We will see they will need practice places, storage places. All of that is communicated. So I'm saying, yes, the criticism and concerns by people are valid, but we are addressing them.
And when you speak of Mauna Kea, you're speaking of Mauna Kea Park, right at the top of Saddle Road, which is a lovely facility.
Oh, and I haven't gone in yet except for the kitchen area.
Well, yeah, because they haven't finished construction on the cabin portion, right?
And it will be all finished, but if they choose that, we will assure you that we will follow through on a commitment of transportation as well as storage spaces and practice places.
I understand that Paipaiko and maybe Keaukaha gyms actually do have fire sprinklers. Would those then not be acceptable as places for the halau to stay?
Because of usage, that is not accept. First of all, Keaukaha Gym, you know, yes, it's a county park, but it's the Hawaiian Homes, right? And it does technically belong to them. And we don't want to displace people because it's heavy usage. And naturally, that was discussed.
And then if you have these concerns about the halau staying there because of fire safety, et cetera, should the community have any concerns about when we do have a hurricane evacuation or tsunami evacuation and people are directed to the gyms? Should people be concerned about their own safety or the kids who play there on a daily basis?
Well, for kids who play there on a daily basis, you know, first of all, let's look at these places. They're old, single wall wood, and on stilts, so to speak. The greatest fire hazard threat there is of anything of air circulation, not cement floor. That's one of the factors fire department looks at. And these are not good places. This is places because they're available close to town and all of that. Should people be concerned on that for shelters? Absolutely. You know, if we keep them there to sleep. These are overnight kind of thing. For playing, that's a responsibility of ours to make sure that they watch out for fire hazards, etc. And it's always easier to evacuate people when they're playing rather than when they're sleeping or whatever. They don't prepare food and things like that or cook nearby, whatever. Yes, all those things, but number one, none of these places is going to be hurricane shelters because they're single wall wood. And the only type of shelter it possibly maybe identified with would be possibly tsunami, because you're just out of the area.